Hola a todos, bienvenidos, continuamos con Disco Elysium. Vamos a ver qué hacemos ahora. Encuentra la armadura, botas, toma del volante. En busca del marido, halla tu ave heráldica, encuentra a Morel. Ah, mira. Bueno, esto no lo podemos hacer todavía. No. Un lingotazo, el fumador del balcón. Hasta las 9 nada. Consigue hacer el puerto y pedir la ayuda para hacer tatuajes. Esto no lo puedo hacer todavía. De esto nada. Con esto lo puedo hacer. ¿Puedo llamar? No, esto tengo que llamar el miércoles, ¿no? Hoy ya había llamado y tenía que investigar más. Vale. Pues mira, vamos a ver. Tenemos un montón de tiradas que podemos volver a probar, la verdad. Ah, mira, podemos ver el portapapeles. Es que según se me va a olvidar de ver esto.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Vamos a leer otro
It takes
caso.
about half an hour to
También
piece one
avanzamos un poco la hora.
together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you want?
Porque hasta las 9 no podemos ir a ver si está el del balcón. Y es que hoy no sé si vamos a poder avanzar mucho más. Lo de la esclusa esa para cruzar al otro lado del río, eso también era el miércoles, si no me equivoco. O sea que hay bastantes cosas que no podemos hacer hasta el día siguiente. Así que yo creo que leyendo esto creo que se nos pasa ahí el tiempo un poco para adelante. Así que vamos a ver el segundo caso, el caso irresoluble.
A.K.A. Leslie and Burke. A.K.A. The public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man. And you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which, in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
¿No se les podría mantener lejos de las calles?
You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition, because that's where the action is. Can you keep yourself off the streets? Threatening fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all. and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
¿Cuál era Leslie? Ya me he perdido. Vale, Leslie se ha bajado los pantalones y Burke destrozando. No sé qué pasa si le dices mal, pero bueno. Indecencia pública.
Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you.
Yeah.
The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. The officer is also drunk. Way more drunk than Burke there. And let's be fair, you also have party eyes. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then proceed to beat him. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore.
¡Qué bestia!
Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved.
Sí, claro, resuelto, pero ¿a qué precio?
Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one?
Madre mía, ¿qué? A ver, ¿qué tenemos aquí? ¿Cómo cargar impuestos indirectos? Ah, no, esto es que... Estos no los tengo, ¿no? Menos uno retórico, menos de empatía. Es que no me mola nada esto de menos de empatía. Nada, eso me avisó de que terminamos de investigar una, ¿no? Vale. ¿Qué más? Venga, los asesinatos del agujero de bala cuadrado.
It
Wow.
would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape.
Pero...
That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead.
¿Un asesino en serie?
Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? Don't worry. One day you may still catch the man with the square gun.
Vale. El sofá en un sitio inesperado.
Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it, in the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
Parecía una banda de rock.
Yes, as you said here, insufferable rock and roll assholes. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it was. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it, too, where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved.
¿Llegué a atraparlos?
No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next?
¿El asesino del salón de narguile?
Murder. Tum 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 at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
Espera, ¿cómo?
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor.
Vale, sigamos con el asesinato.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve. Was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
Espera, ¿era Joseph Mills un buen policía?
No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
Pero... ¿Eso coloca?
No, it's soot and water vapor. It doesn't do anything.
Vaya chorrada.
Yeah, so anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there, only client that day. In perfect health too. Some kind of movie producer. No one enters, no one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing, just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin, movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Tables low, heavy, really sharp edge.
Se pone narguile, se levantó, se desmayó, se golpeó la cabeza contra la mesa y murió.
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
¿Y qué estuvo haciendo allí durante 6 horas?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was murder at the hookah parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed piecing it together. Next.
Pues ya los tenemos todos.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
A ver, ¿tenemos algo nuevo aquí en los
Arson,
archivos del
petty
caso?
theft, spousal abuse. Handwritten logs on dozens of investigations date back to January 51. Stamped case files, commit to paper. These are your last couple of months in Revachol. You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the
Podemos
smelly
probar
papers.
este.
They're a
El
little
largo es
further from
solitario
your
camino a
nose now.
casa. Es esto. ¿Por qué me quita -1 de lógica? El límite de percepción aumenta de 5. Bueno, voy a probar. Vale.
The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just,
Abrir el compartimento.
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
¿Y qué hay dentro?
2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Ok. Coger los resguardos.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there too.
Ajá. Coger la postal.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
¿Olerla?
It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored.
Esto es como el envoltorio de chicle que nos encontramos en uno de los pantalones, ¿no?
Exactly like the gum wrapper you found. The same brand of chewing gum.
¿Abrirla?
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please.
Pero me hará feliz.
A merciful wind blows in from the bay of Revachol, dusting the ground at your feet and raising newspapers far away. You feel the card slipping into it.
¿Sujetarla y seguir leyendo?
Your hands shake holding onto it. Every morning when I step out, you're asleep behind me, it says. I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you.
¿Seguir leyendo?
You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it.
¿Seguir leyendo?
Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. You feel the ledger slip from your hand.
¡Qué redondo! ¡Uy! ¡Qué mala pinta tiene esto! Dime que no me voy a morir, por favor. Dime que no me voy a morir.
There is nothing. Again.
¿Me he muerto otra vez? ¿Nada?
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery, just blackout.
¿Quedarte ahí desmayado?
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you, that's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
¿Quién es ese?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
¿Y lo otro? ¿Quién era?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy.
No, estaba bien. Estoy bien.
The call when you're dead, brother.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
¿Dónde está el camino del viajero?
There is no Voyager road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
¿Era lo del ex algo? El...
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
No, era algo precioso.
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape. Its lack of beauty was not the problem.
Basta, quedarte tendido, quieto. No te
You
mueras.
think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
¿Qué es eso? Está frío.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
¿Dónde estoy?
In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket, the air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
El teniente acerca un pequeño recipiente hasta tu boca. ¿Beber?
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
¿Beber?
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
Oh, menos mal que estaba aquí, Kim, si no, vamos. Nos hubiéramos quedado ahí redondos. Eso mismo iba a preguntarte yo.
You were reading your paperwork. Then you passed out. I carried you to my kinema to take you to a hospital. Then you came to.
¿Cuánto tiempo llevo inconsciente?
10 minutes, maybe.
Entré en contacto con las ruinas carbonizadas del pasado, teniente.
That does sometimes happen.
Te entrega lo que queda de tu portapapeles.
He replies with such understanding, it's as if the burnt-out ruins of the past were an occupational hazard. Athlete's foot for cops.
You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
Resolvamos este caso.
Good.
A ver.
The 15th Indo tribe. Because there was. The 15th Indo tribe was comprised of 8 kids from Forberg and North Jamrock, running from wild dogs in the valley, hiding scents under rocks, and stealing clothes off clotheslines, and sometimes even the copper wiring of phone lines. You may have been one of them. This must be a childhood memory. The 15th Indo tribe was your Indo tribe, set to rule in Cylinder. The rest of the kids are dead now. Car accidents and drug overdoses. Only you remain.
Más 10 centavos para cada orbe verde clicado. ¿Qué será un orbe verde? Saber que tenemos esto, ventajas temporales de la investigación, menos una autoridad. Ah. Tendría que desbloquear uno. Bueno, vale. Desbloqueo y vamos a interiorizar esto. A ver qué pasa. Y... ¡ay, mira! Ahora está en herramientas. Más una mundo interior, más una empatía, menos 2 autoridad. Interesante, pero mira. ¿Me puedo poner aquí? Sí. Y aquí la bolsa. Bueno. Tengo menos 3 autoridad. Madre mía. Bueno, la verdad es que no lo suelo usar mucho. Así que... bueno, en principio lo dejamos así. Vale. Entonces dijimos que casi me desmayo. Con eso, a ver. ¿Qué más nos queda por...? Allá tú a ver algo. Podría ir a hablar con los de... los que están ahí en el Willing Racks. Por ejemplo. Con los señores estos ya había hablado. Los que estaban jugando a la petanca. No sé si tenían algo más que decir.
I like playing in the dark. Sharpens your nocturnal instincts. Feels like being on...
Gracias por su tiempo. Nada nuevo. Me quedan todavía 2 horas hasta las 9 para poder... ir a ver al que estaba allí fumando. Con esta no puedo hablar. Y yo creo que habíamos hecho todo. Bueno, esto creo que no, ¿no?
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here.
No. ¿Aquí me cuentas algo?
Yes?
Vamos a probar esto.
Because you're the best qualified. No, that doesn't seem right.
Estúpido cerebro, no sirve para nada.
You look dumb if you
Uy.
keep the lieutenant waiting for too long.
Nada, que no tengo suerte últimamente. También es verdad que no estoy subiendo mucho. Es que tengo solo un puntico ya. Tengo solo un punto. Es que no se me ocurre qué más hacer ahora mismo. En general. Esto nada. Esto me parece a mí que vamos a tardar también. Es que, a ver, esto mientras no sea capaz de saltar a donde en el sitio ese, en el tejadillo ese donde está la chaqueta, la cazadora esa que está ahí colgada, no voy a poder pasar. Esto hasta las 9, nada. Esto no quiero beber. Aquí tampoco parece que pueda avanzar mucho. Esto nada, tenemos que esperar a cruzar al otro lado, donde estaba la esclusa esa, que creo que hasta el miércoles no la arreglaban. Vale, voy a hallarme a ver a Lika, venga. A ver si me dan experiencia, que necesito más punticos. Yo creo que desde por aquí ya he explorado todo. Yo creo que no me queda nada más que cruzar ya al otro lado. Vamos a ver, supongo que estará por aquí arriba, ¿no? Que es donde estaban los libros.
Shelves filled to the brim with
Nada.
a sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the
Aquí
cover,
está.
its beak slightly open. It looks as if the bird is calling out the book title, From A to Zurich, a guide to a well-behaved cockatoo.
Tendera, ¿qué me puede decir de esta guía sobre cacatúas?
It's a must-have if you own a cockatoo. I've heard they're quite capricious.
Ojear las páginas.
Turns out that there are so many different cockatoo species, and they all have behavioral problems.
Ese escrutinio tendera y lo presivo. Eso es que la señora está ahí mirando. Cuesta 3,99. Es un poco caro, ¿no? Es que probablemente los libros me ayuden con cosas, ¿no? Pero...
This
serán solo para
bookstore is
pasar el
not
rato.
strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide
Eso
range
creo que
of
sería interesante
paranatural
cogerlo, pero es que
literature.
me parece tan caro. Tan caro. Que no sé. Por aquí ya hemos explorado. Pues creo que poco más. Yo creo que aquí lo vamos a dejar por hoy. Aquí lo dejamos, que ya tuve ahí un pequeño susto que pensé que ya me iba a morir otra vez. Así que nada, aquí lo dejamos por hoy. En el próximo capítulo a ver si sé por dónde avanzar. Ahora mismo estoy un poco perdida, no sé muy bien qué puedo hacer hasta pasar el día. Pero bueno, algo se me ocurrirá. Así que nada, como siempre os digo, si os está gustando la serie, por favor dejad un like al vídeo, no olvidéis suscribiros y activar la campanita para que os avise cuando suba nuevos vídeos. Nos vemos muy pronto en el próximo. Muchas gracias.